What's the biggest key for you learning to walk that line between throw it away, make the aggressive play? How challenging is it to kind of learn that on the fly and get that feel right now?
Yeah, I think it's tough because you don't want to overreact to like, hey, if a ball gets tipped and then gets picked, you're like, okay, you know, I don't know. I hope that it doesn't get tipped and try and have some takeaways from that. And but I think you really narrow them down to like, okay, it was a bad throw, bad decision. What led to it? What is the takeaway? And so I think that's what I did after last game, and really the game before it too is just, you know, some of my aggressive throws are when we were moving the ball too. Like there's multiple other ones where you're like, that's an aggressive throw, but it was one of our only explosives of the game. And so trying to toe that line is yeah, like you said, it's difficult, and you don't want to hamstring yourself or like put yourself in handcuffs. Like just don't mess up because then you're not going to play well. So.
How did you feel Jalen Rivers played when he was in, and would you be comfortable if that's the direction you guys go with him starting?
Yeah, I mean, I think Jalen's worked hard as far as directions going forward. I mean, that's up to the coaching staff, and then as far as how he played and stuff like that, I think in general, obviously, was not a good day for a lot of us, and I don't really have a specific for him. I'm pretty focused on what I need to do to play better.
How much of the aggressiveness stuff you were talking about is about game feel too? Like as the game goes along, getting a feel for what type of game, and is that something that is easy to tap into? I need to be more conservative here. Do you guys talk about that on the sideline?
I think it's just knowing the situations of the game. Like I think there's been a few where it's like, hey, we don't need this right now, and those are the ones that really stick with me. Where you're like, hey, it's third and long. We gave up a pressure, like, you know, just throw the ball away, punt it, and it's the first half. And so knowing like the time and the place when you do need to be aggressive and when the risk is worth the reward. And yeah, I mean, I've never really been someone that throws a ton of picks. So, you know, then it's also towing the line of like not turning it into like, hey, don't play not to mess up. So yeah, I think that's part of the mental challenge of the position and not losing your cut of loose, but not putting yourself and your team in bad situations.
You said you want.
Would you come away from the pick six? Did you think you forced it, or do you think it was just a?
I think I got to survive. I think I got to survive the down. Like you go around the league, and like I watch some other quarterbacks, and it's like, you know, guys miss throws and guys make bad reads, but they find a way for their bad plays to be incompletions. And I think that's like when you look at my film as a whole so far, like there's been a lot of good and there's been, you know, not a significant amount of bad, but my bad plays are detrimental to the team in the form of turnovers. And so, you know, I need to find a way to either throw the ball away with just incompletions and live to fight another day. And yeah, I think that was kind of the main takeaway from that.
What's your process like in kind of getting after a loss like that? How do you kind of move on from that? What's the process like as you go from Sunday into Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday?
Yeah, I think for me it's just, you know, sitting in it for a little bit where you're like, okay, I need to have the takeaways to improve from this and be able to look back a couple weeks from now and say, hey, good thing that happened. Like I made the changes I need to in my game, made the changes we need to as an offense and as a team. But as far as the process for that, you get back into your routine and, you know, kind of lean on people around you for some support. And then you kind of just have to move on. And once you have your takeaways, you know, personally, and what my role was in what happened on Sunday and what I need to do differently, once I have the takeaways, and I mean, you really got to move on. I think that's the hardest part is just not letting it linger. And I think the sooner you can get back on the field and start throwing again and just getting into practice, preparing for a different team, the better.
Do you feel like y'all are playing fast as an offense, like processing?
One more time?
Do you feel like y'all are playing and processing fast as an offense?
Like we are playing in process?
Do you feel like you guys are?
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's some plays where, you know, you're expecting to get certain looks and then you don't, and then kind of creates some hesitation. I think that's been a big emphasis is just come off the ball Play fast, play decisive. If you're never gonna play perfect. And so play fast, play decisive, and if you make a mistake full speed.
You had any conversations with Joe, trying to pick his brain about what he saw from last week?
I mean, he's in the middle of some pretty rehab and all that, and so not a whole lot.
Jake, there's been a lot of
finding ways to get Chase Brown involved and get him going. I know you weren't going to make excuses the other day about run game wise, and I get that, but just being one of the best players on offense, how important is it to get him going?
Yeah, I think it's huge. I think the more we can not be one-dimensional, and the more we can run the ball and have efficient gains in the run game, will be really helpful. And I think just the way the running back gets touches, it's kind of taking some stuff off quarterback's plate and giving me a couple breather plays of just, we handed the ball off and went for 10 yards. We threw him a swing screen, went for 8, just plays like that where I can, have some pass attempts on second and short or first downs will be big, and just staying out of second and long, third and long. And I mean, if you live in that against any team, Denver included, I mean, it's going to be a tough battle.
How have you seen him grow between the last time you were playing 23 when he was a rookie to now?
Yeah, a lot of confidence, and just, I mean, he's always been super explosive, fast, all those different things. I think when I first played, I'm pretty sure he was coming back from an injury, so we didn't really know. And obviously, it wasn't like a really high pick for us, and so you can just tell he's got confidence in catching the ball, protections, putting his foot in the ground, being decisive, and like you said, he's one of the better players on our offense.
When you came in 23, the screen game really took off. You guys used it a ton. Is that something that you look to as that you have comfort with, or you'd like to see more of as you kind of go through this year?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think screens are necessarily, screens in run game, those are called, and hey, here's the look that we don't want this verse, and I can't out of it, but those are kind of plays that are schemed up and called. I kind of focus more on my pass attempts that are down the field and dropbacks and play action, protection, stuff like that. So, as far as the exact reason why I took off when I started playing in 23, I'm not sure. That's kind of more of a play calling decision.
Jake, there's been a few clips over the last week that resurfaced on social media from your college days, specifically with Drew Sample. Can you talk about just a little bit about your relationship with him from then to now, and do you wish that you had some more reps with him out on the field during the game?
My relationship with Drew, it goes all the way back to my freshman year of college. We lived together. Played a ton of football at Washington together. Drew's always going to be exactly where he's supposed to be, doing exactly what he's supposed to do, super prepared. He's a pro, takes care of his body, all that stuff. As far as more reps with him, I'm happy to take reps with whoever's at tight end, halfback, receiver. Those are coaches' decisions. And I think you just always have a level of comfort when Drew's back there. He's always going to know what's going on and what to do.
What was that roommate dynamic like?
There were 5 of us, and we were all 18.
You still hit 70% of your passes. Was that anything encouraging? I mean, was that something you can build on, the fact that...
Yeah, I think that kind of goes back to my point of my incompletions need to be incompletions. They can't be picks. Complete 70% of your passes, and if I can walk away from the game saying, hey, I completed 70% of my passes, and those 2 picks, I found a way to either check it down or throw it away, then you're walking away obviously I'm not happy with the end result, but at least I didn't put us in a bad situation. And I think that's kind of where the emotional part of it all comes in, where you have a tough game, and there's obviously way too much blame or too much credit to the quarterback usually, right? Everybody's riding this emotional wave of wins and losses, and so I think for me, focusing on what those things are and how to minimize these catastrophic, or not catastrophic, but these bad plays. My bad plays need to be incompletions. and that's a big focus.
What's it like having the platform on Monday night to go out, especially after a game like that, to go out and kind of get your season back on track? Is that something that you guys relish?
Yeah, I think so. I think as a team, like, you obviously want to play in the big games and on the primetime games, and so we're excited. And obviously, Denver's a good team, so we're looking forward to getting back on track and against a really good team and executing at a much higher level than we did.
Are primetime games are primetime games just sort of like another game for you, or is it something that you look forward to most or more than?
I think you kind of treat it as another game, just because you kind of have your routine, and I'm not going to change our routine because we're playing, at night or in a primetime game or whatever. So it's not really on your radar a ton throughout the week, but obviously everybody knows we're on Monday night, so you can't deny it.
I think your first win came on Monday night.
I did.
And what do you remember about that night?
Remember just being pretty efficient. Felt like we were able to not be one-dimensional, kind of go, the run game was good. We had a couple good screens that kind of helped me get into a rhythm, and then was able to finish out a long game, but finish out a close game just by finding completions and keeping the ball moving forward. And, I got a lot of good players on offense with me, and so I think the takeaway from that is just get it in their hands and, be efficient.
How about the environment? And what was it? You're a little kid. You're watching Monday night.
Mm-hmm.
Did it live up to your expectations? Did you even think about it? And what was the
I
environment?
think the best thing I did in that game was just be in the moment, find completions, stay pretty even keel, and hoping to do the same Monday night.